Hey, what's going on, everyone? Neil Henderson here from Clearview Plastics in the sweltering heat of Sacramento, California, dead summer, July. And today I want to show you something that we've been working on with our Xtool D1 and D1 Pro enclosures. We've actually been putting some extra effort into the enclosures that we make for desktop laser engravers. There's a bunch of like really nice ones that have been coming out. So we've been doing some development around this Xtool D1, and then some of the other ones that there's a brand new one from OM Tech that just came out. Some Atom Stack ones. I think their new brand is like Ike here. We're making laser engraver enclosures for a whole lineup of these guys, and we really think that these machines are awesome and really help people to like start small businesses, and that's what we want to support because we are a small business as well. So today's about the Xtool D1. We're gonna have some more coming out, but check this thing out. Alrighty guys, so if you've seen some of my previous videos, you might be familiar with our enclosure. This is the Xtool D1 and D1 Pro compatible enclosure. That is the version 2. It's the new taller height, 16 inches tall, so that it can adapt a light burn camera right to the top there, and then it just gives you some extra height for the machine so you can do larger rotary operations. So what I'm going to show you today is we actually just finished up the extension with our version 2 enclosure. So this is packed with some pretty rad upgrades. Again, the way that this enclosure works is we've got the base version here, and then we've got the add-on for the extension. So when you purchase this enclosure, you need to have the base enclosure, and then you add on the extension. And you'll be able to see that you can do that inside of the product options. If you already have the V2 enclosure and then you want to add the extension on later on, I've got that set up on the website too, so that you'll see a listing for the extension only. So a quick little rundown on how we have this guy set up. Sometimes it's a little hard to hide the wires, but so again, what we have up here is we have our light burn camera, and so that is a USB camera that can be dialed right into light burn. With the new enclosure, we actually have a second light burn camera location right there. So if you're looking to do some advanced light burn stuff where you're trying to line up and register your media, then you just want to use one. But if having two cameras so that you can see the whole bed is important for you, then we actually have that built in. So and then the other portion that we're really stoked on is our flow control for helping with the exhaust movement on your enclosure. So these guys actually have small little like inlets there that you can open and close, and so then that way we've got this with the extension, we've got it on the front and on the back, and then we've also got it on the other side as well, and that makes it so that you can control the amount of air that's coming in. You can control the direction that your exhaust is flowing, and then so you get the best performance, exhaust performance, to get that smoke and soot out of the enclosure and out of your way. So super important part there. And then as far as access to this guy, we've got from the original enclosure, the base enclosure, we've got this double acting door that pops up on the front and on the top, so you get super awesome access. You can see on this one, the camera pops up. We actually move this camera back to the back panel so that it's more stationary as well. And so that gives you a super easy access, and that makes it so that the camera is really accurate when you're trying to register your media as well. And so pretty important thought process there inside the development. And then on the back, we also have a lid back here so that you can have access to the back. And On the back here, when you upgrade your enclosure from the base version to the extended version, what actually happens is you use the back panel, you reuse the back panel, and that remains as the rear panel. And so on the back panel, we've got this grommet here, and there's a little hole there that we can use for an inlet to feed in your air assist. And then right here, we've also got our LED lighting kit in there. And so we've got the wiring for our LED lighting kit. We really like these like little zip tie mounts for feeding in wires and in your air assist. And so and then on the sides here, we have our exhaust fans. And so this is actually our 200 CFM exhaust fan that can actually be mounted on this kind of acts as like a front side now. What is the side of the machine, and this is kind of the back side. So it can actually mount either side, or if you would really want to, you can actually have two fans to get the max amount of exhaust. So when we send out these exhausts, this actually is controlled just by this little DC switch here. And it's pretty loud when you have it at 200 CFM. You can kind of crank it down halfway, and then it's like nice and quiet. So you kind of control how loud it is versus how much air output that you want. And compared to like some of the inline fans, this is nice if you're really looking to save some space. Compared to those inline fans, are kind of bulky. This one just clips right on. If you decide, when you order from us, if you decide not to get the fan because you already have your own inline fan, then just get the bracket only. So this bracket, we designed this so that it fits a 4-inch exhaust hose that you commonly get on Amazon. And so it slips right on. You can just put a little bit of tape to seal it up, and it works great. So another feature that we have set up on this particular Xtool D1 is our blaze cut fire suppression system. And so the way that this works is this is actually a pressurized tube that has fire suppressing gas in it. And so it has a relatively low melt point plastic here that if a fire starts, usually when a fire starts, it will be because maybe your laser actually gets stuck or jammed. And so the fire will almost always start right where the gantry is. And we've got this dialed in so that it's actually really close to the laser head and right onto the gantry. So it just follows the gantry. And so let's just say a fire starts, your laser head gets stuck, and a small flame comes out, melts this a little bit, and causes it to blast the fire suppressing gas out. It's also electronics safe, so it won't ruin the electronics inside of your laser. And so if all goes to plan, then you still have your laser, you still have your enclosure, and then obviously you still have your living working space, which is super important too. One other thing I wanted to tell you guys about is on the side here, you notice that we've got these plugs all set up, and these are just little rubber pieces that act as like an air plug to keep smoke inside. So you can place them right back in, and we've got these set up so that they actually line up right with the USB ports in your power ports. So depending on which level of legs that you have, then you can just take out the appropriate power supply. I call a power supply port. And notice that on the bottom we've even got this black one here. We actually send out a 3D printed version of it, and then that way you actually get 4 levels of height out of the machine as well. So if you're not really familiar with Clearview enclosures, what we're going for is we're going for a professional finish and function to our enclosures. And with our laser enclosures especially, we have these amber orange acrylic panels, which we had these spectrometer tested and it shows that that these panels block over 99% of the UV rays that the diode laser works at the 450 nanometer wavelength. And as a matter of fact, on the website, you can actually see the graph of how of the light transmission from these guys. So this is a really the laser filtering panels are a really important option if you have, say, like pets, or if you have little ones, or just people that don't know better than to not look directly at the laser. It also just helps to reduce the flashing inside of the room if that's kind of bothersome for you. We also offer this in clear as an option as well. And so that is the new Xtool D1 and D1 Pro laser enclosure version 2. Again, I always say this at the end of our videos. Clearview Plastics, we are a small company located in Sacramento, California. We design, we build, and we ship these enclosures right out of our warehouse here in Sacramento. And as a small business, we're appreciative people, and when you work with us, we do our absolute best to make sure that you get a great enclosure that looks great and also functions great as well. At this point, we've worked with tons of different businesses, individuals, institutions, like schools like MIT, University of California, um, uh, several like defense contractors and tech firms. I think that we've really gotten to a point where we're building some really, really nice enclosures. If you want something that's professional and has a great fit and finish, then check us out at clearviewplastic.com. Clearview Plastic, plastic is singular.com. My name is Neil, and I'm the owner over here. So if you have any questions, pop us a line on the website. See you guys.